This is Modern Persian Food,
a culinary podcast for today's food enthusiast.
We talk about classic Persian flavors,
modern recipes,
and embracing culture and identity through food.
I'm Bita.
And I'm also Bita.
Welcome to our show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Modern Persian Food. This is our 2025 Yalda episode, and we're dipping into some of our favorite winter solstice snacks this year and sharing some fun ideas to elevate your sofre tablescape for Yalda, Shab-e Yalda. It's the longest, darkest night of the year, and we'll be staying up late, playing games, reading poetry, listening to music, and telling stories well into the night. We'll cover all of that and more in this episode, including a real-time poetry reading by co-host Beata Arabian. Thank you for joining us as we connect, share, and commemorate this ancient tradition and how we celebrate it today. This year, Winter Solstice Yalda is on December 21st on the West Coast. Possibly the night of your annual cookie party, Bita June?
It is. It's the night of our annual cookie party, which is now turned into a Yalda cookie party.
I love it. I love how you combine some of your family traditions and Yalda traditions to have a fun cookie party every year.
Every year since 2020, when we did our first episode, and each year since, we've been incorporating more into our lives, and we hope that you have as well. Thanks for joining us today, everyone.
Yeah, our sixth episode of Yalda coverage on the podcast. So we started back in 2020, and it has definitely been an awesome journey sharing about not only Yalda, but other Persian traditions and all of the delicious Persian foods. So happy to have done this with you, Bita June.
Likewise, I'm super proud of us. I'm proud of how far we've come. I listened to that first one, which was only our episode number 10. And here we are, 183 in. And so each year we've done some different things. This year we're going to get right into it and ask a question. Why?
Yeah. So Bita June, tell us, why do Persians celebrate the longest night of the year?
Well, I think it could be equated with the philosophy of Mitra, the sun god or goddess, and the triumph of light over darkness as the days begin to grow longer.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a night that we kind of celebrate together, staying up late, doing all these activities. And one of the things that we have there is a sofre and the color red. Tell us a little bit about the color red.
Red symbolizes the preservation of summer's warmth into winter. We have some icons of this holiday: pomegranates and watermelons. The fruits that we eat have really come to be known as part of this holiday. It's a festival celebrating the birth of light, and it happens on the solstice. And there's a lot of kind of commonalities in our traditions that eventually led to Christmas being on December 25th. So part of it is just that it's close to it, right? The 21st and the 25th. I think a lot of it is the color red.
Yeah, absolutely. The energy, the fire that comes, that you bring, that you want to carry through those long nights of winter and the coldness. So definitely awesome to celebrate the light on the solstice.
Yeah. So these old Zoroastrian traditions, they happen on the changing of the seasons. They typically have a table set up or sofra. So for Yalda night, what do you typically set up on your Yalda night table, Bita June?
Yeah, well, absolutely love to have the candles and, that flame, again, with the energy. So candles, a mirror, those are items that we find at multiple different sofres throughout the year. Fruit, a book of poetry, either a hafez or other poetry is there for sure. Lots of different foods, and I can get into that. But typically you have a little altar that you put all of these things at. So also we like to have something salty. So we have like little munchies and seeds. We have like tokhme, which are like toasted pumpkin seeds, and we can have a whole bunch of different like ajil. Let's talk about some of the seeds. You have a fun little recipe that you do with the pumpkin seeds, yeah, Bita June?
Yes, lately this year I've been doing a lot with pumpkin seeds. Traditionally, I make my ajil bags. So, what ajil is what we call Persian trail mix. And that is any kind of nuts that you love. I like to put pistachios, walnuts, hazelnuts, and then the beautiful dried fruit that might include some golden raisins, some dried cherries, cranberries. You can get as unique and crazy as you want with your agile, but lately I've been really fixated on making roasted pumpkin seeds. Don't forget to rust your nuts, friends. I mean, when I start roasting nuts, the whole house smells delicious. Have you ever roasted your own hazelnuts, pecans, and added them to your trail mix? It really adds just a whole nother element of like earthiness and deliciousness. So with my pumpkin seeds, I've been roasting them ever since I think August. I started adding a little pumpkin spice. Lately, I've been putting a little kick in there. A friend of mine started to make it with like a little bit of chili pepper, a little bit of salty sweet. So I might experiment with making my agile a little bit spicy this year, try something new and see how that works out for my little treat bags.
Yeah, that sounds good. In our house, we do a very simple agile. Actually, like the trail mix that my kids eat include regular raisins, peanuts, cashews, and I actually love putting in little cereals, like Cheerios cereals in there as well to give it a little bit of extra crunch and some carbs in there as well.
Yeah, super kid friendly. That's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were starting to talk about the fruits and the color red. So the other items on there, a big watermelon, you can just have the watermelon cut, sliced up, ready to go. Or if you want to make little bites like watermelon with mint and feta little bites, or a little salad with the watermelon can definitely be a great way to have that red flavor on the table. And of course, the beautiful pomegranate, either leave it whole or seed it or just break it open to see those beautiful jeweled-like arrows just shining. I've been making lately asha anar, which has been so satisfying. It is such a beautiful dish. And I was inspired originally to make it when we had Nasim Ali Khani from Sofre restaurant and author of the cookbook Sofre on the show. And I saw her pomegranate soup recipe, and I've been making it lately. And what kind of pushed me to do it is I had a lot of cilantro and I had a big old jug of pomegranate juice, and that was my inspiration to start making the soup. And so I've been making it. I have some variations to it. I'm not really including the split peas in it, but I just love how the pomegranate juice brings so much brightness to it, and all the fresh herbs and a little bit of rice in there with the onions and a bunch of spices. So that's a fun thing to also put on your table to showcase pomegranate.
I can see how you would love that soup. You really like beets, don't you, Beet?
I do. I actually haven't put beets in it yet. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to try my next version. I actually have beets in the fridge, but the pomegranate and the pomegranate juice was really the only red that I had added to it. So I know, of course, that there's lots of different kinds of recipes. So the recipe that I was working off of didn't have beets, but I was thinking about it because I think you had mentioned that one year that when you had done that event that someone had brought the asha anar with the beets in it. So I was thinking about that, but I haven't tried it personally yet with beets in it.
Yeah, you're right. There's tons of different versions. I love how asha anar is kind of taking center stage these days. I've been seeing a lot of videos and reels lately of people making it. And I did recently watch one that had two kinds of pomegranate in there. It had pomegranate molasses and pomegranate juice and beets.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the one that I watched, it was a vegetarian version, and it was just really interesting to watch all the different ways that you could make it, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
My favorite recipe is Omid Roussai's, who we had on our show last year. His recipe is fairly authentic. He makes it with herby meatballs, and it's simply delicious. You guys need to try it. And I think that it can be served hot or cold, and almost like a Persian gazpacho, but it's really cool. I might even get courageous and make it for the cookie party this year.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Cookies and cold soup. I don't know. We'll give it a try.
Yeah. I added little meatballs to mine too. The different versions that I was experimenting with were one, frying the meat first, like pan frying the meatballs first, versus just throwing the meatballs raw into the soup to cook into the pot. And there wasn't that big of a difference, I felt. So I'm looking for a shortcut version. I think you just make the little meatballs seasoned and throw them in. I didn't add herbs to my meatballs, but that sounds like a really good idea too that I'll play around with.
I've never made a soup with sort of raw meat meatballs. But anyway, I'm not a super meat person. My meatball recipe, I have a Greek meatball recipe on my site. My friend made it and she fried them and it was so good because I guess that's how it is originally entered in my recipe. But lately I just cook my meatballs in the oven. My daughter does it that way and she turned me on to just baking the meatballs and sort of shaking your pan around a couple times through it. So that's another way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So you're thinking that if you put raw meatballs in there, it could cook down in the soup without falling apart?
Yeah, that's what I did. And I just put them into little balls, not very big meatballs, just very small ones. And I threw it in and it held its shape.
Maybe that's a Persian style.
Yeah, I mean, it was super easy. I was trying to make the first time I made it really quick. And I just made little balls of it and I threw it in there and it cooked through and it held its shape. So I was very happy with that.
Yeah, let us know if you make it, guys. Beets, no beets, herbs, no herbs, meatballs, no meatballs. Some people put spinach. I like it with spinach.
Oh, yeah. I was kind of going for like a ashirishte without all the beans in it for what I was kind of like looking for. Of course, with all of the pomegranate juice and then the garnish with the pomegranate arils. It just is something else. It's super delicious. So that's been on repeat for me.
Yeah. Some people put rice. Some people don't put rice. One of the videos I recently saw, she put not long grain rice, but the little shorter grain rice, which I guess is good for the soup. I don't know. Last year I was using Trader Joe's ancient grains that come with couscous and other things, other grains, and that works as well. And it has little yellow split peas in it. That's a good little cheat.
Oh, yeah. That makes it sound easy.
Yeah. But snacks are the way to go. So if you're trying to stay up and fight the evil this night, make sure you have lots of snacks out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the funnest part is like snapping on some tokhme, pumpkin seeds and telling stories, listening to music, perhaps some poetry, gathering around this sofre. So, the sofre, it could take various different forms, but let's talk about how we can take that baked sofre and elevate it. What are some little things that we can do to make it extra special in the evening, a little bit more special than it already is?
Yeah. So find a beautiful cloth. I'd say that's where you start. And then, you listed everything with the candles and the mirror. I always get torn about what candlesticks to put out because I've got fancy ornate ones from our wedding, Sofria Art, and I've got simpler ones. But through the years that we have been getting more and more in depth and incorporating more of these traditions into our lives, I now have a pretty nice collection of candles, like the long candles that you put
the candlesticks
into candlesticks. Yeah. And so I had the idea of bringing in the pomegranates and using a real pomegranate as the holder to a long candlestick, and then just taking the part that comes off the tree, the little stem part, and try putting your candle into there. Now, if it's not big enough, what I'm planning to do is to actually cut into the pomegranate, make like a little divot and cut into there and create a space for the long candle to go in there. And I think that's just going to look beautiful.
Yeah, a beautiful little stand to hold the candle. I think that's beautiful. And it's red and it's so on theme.
Thematic. It ties in with nature. And you can add other little things from outside, which I love to do. Find some little berries and leaves from outside in your bushes and put them around. And that's kind of what I would do there. And I'd probably have some popcorn and spicy trail mix nearby to snack on. Have that on the table in a pretty dish. And then, there's really, really pretty ways that you can display fruit. Just get creative. I've seen some cool things with watermelon and just cutting melon in general, and could make it beautiful as well as have a yummy snack for everyone to stay up late.
Yeah. Talking about snacks, talking about something to eat, I have something that I was playing around with another way to elevate the Shab-e Yalda.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You want to hear about it?
I do.
Something else to eat. But what I don't think gets enough attention on Yalda are the sweets. So I thought that what if we make a Yalda sundae?
Oh.
Yeah, a little bit different, but I was just playing around. And this is a simple recipe. People may already have these ingredients at home, so it makes it super accessible. But you start off with good quality vanilla ice cream and then drizzle pomegranate molasses syrup all over it and top it with chopped pistachios. And if you really want to upgrade it, do some shavings of white chocolate all over it as well.
Oh, you always have good ideas.
Thank you.
Yalda night ice cream sundae. You could even do a sundae bar.
Yeah.
And that way everyone could make their own. Have some little pomegranate arrows, some green pistachio, some different elements, have some pumpkin seeds or tokhme.
Totally. Or the different ajin and stuff. That sounds fun. Oh, it'll be a Yalda ice cream party.
Totally.
I love it. I love it. Okay, fun. So you can add a little bit more sweets. But if you don't want to do that, any kind of sweets are always welcome on any kind of sofre. So be sure to incorporate some. One year we actually put donuts on our sofre, which is always fun too. A favorite.
Oh my gosh. Cute.
All right. So it wouldn't be a Yalda episode if we didn't do some sort of poetry or some fun reading. You know, as our longtime listeners know, every year we feature beautiful poetry or readings or music from not only ourselves, but our family and from our community. So today, in homage to that, Bita, would you do a reading for us? You've picked something to share, so tell us a little bit about it.
I'm happy to. We put this together for this special Yalda reading, a poem that really captures the spirit of Persian poetry, kind of a fusion of Hafez, the deep longing of Hafez, and the joy of Rumi. Since Yalda's all about celebrating the return of the sun and hope, this blending brings together favorite themes into one modern reading. I'm calling this Yalda's brightest truth. The long, long night has done its stretch and stay, and the quiet stars are singing far away. But even here where shadows hold the floor, a huge promise is waiting right outside the door. You see, my heart feels like a bird in a cage, but it remembers a love on a heavenly stage, a steady flame that shines so clear and bright. It pushes back the dark with all of its light. Let's pour some joy. Let the good times start to flow. A little taste of heaven, watching the fire glow. The dark days are over. Their armies are through, knocked out completely by the morning's bright hue. Look, every tiny thing is dancing, shining like the sun, reflecting the light from where all joy has begun. Hold on to this warmth, this hope, this simple truth. The dawn is coming, bringing life and bringing youth.
So beautiful. I love it. What a beautiful encapsulation of the season and the meaning of Yalda. Thank you, Bita. That was beautiful.
Yeah. So, this is basically just bringing in the themes of the longest, darkest night, and that there's this powerful love, the heavenly stage, guaranteeing the return of light and joy. And it's just giving us permission to stop waiting and to start celebrating. So with the brighter days ahead, it's already on its way.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Hopefully a nice, beautiful evening for everybody. We'll be really hopeful that this podcast has inspired you to set out a sofre Yalda or to celebrate Yalda sometime this month. It doesn't have to be exactly on that moment, but reflecting that in celebration is always a great thing to do. We're always looking for ways to bring happiness and recognition to our lives. So hopefully this is a way that will inspire people to do the same.
Yeah, thank you. I hope that we can see some of your creations, your red tablecloths, maybe your red clothes, and all your yummy snacks. So be sure to tag us at Modern Persian Food and we'll feature you. And we wish you a very happy holiday season, whatever you're celebrating.
All right. See you all in the new year. Thank you. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Till next time. Bye.
You've been listening to the Modern Persian Food Podcast with Beata and Bita. Thanks for spending time with us. If you've enjoyed what you heard today, consider telling a friend or giving us a good rating. You can subscribe to our show for free on your favorite podcasting app or find us online at modernpersianfood.com or on Instagram for the recipes and information we talked about today. We'd love to hear your thoughts and see you next time.